Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of Robert Report. I'm your host, Robert BOBTV Brown. How you doing today? Well, it seemed to be that the media, the news media, the paper news media, the online news media, and the television media is spinning a narrative that progressives are starting to jump on board the Joe Biden train. That's right. We don't care about Bernie Sanders' platform. We're not going to negotiate. We're not going to do none of that. Not to mention that Biden's bigot record, Biden a habitual liar, pathological liar, and a rapist or alleged rapist, just like the other guy. Like, we don't care about these issues. But I'm going to go over this article, so just bear with me because it is very important that we make some statements here. Because true progressives, there's faux progressives and true progressives. And there's an ideology that progressives have. And this ideology do not support parties. That's the flat out main foundation of progressive ideology. It's not about a policy. It's not about a party. It's about a policy. It's about a platform. Now, true progressives, not full progressives, never attached themselves to Bernie Sanders. We attached ourselves to the platform because the platform is the very essence, the very thing that causes change in America. We never look at one man because one man will fail you, one woman will fail you. They'll turn their back on you. They'll reject the platform and go with corporatism or support corporatism in the eyes of fear or fear mongering, kind of like what Bernie Sanders is doing with the Democratic Party and their all-out effort to defeat Trump. And I can go into that a little bit more because in order for them to defeat Trump, I guess they had to defeat him, but I think he was willing to be defeated. I mean, honestly speaking, people can say whatever they want to say about me. I don't think Bernie didn't have that fight in him like he had in 2016. It's like an edge was taken off of Bernie after 2016 because the momentum was high. And if it wasn't taken off Bernie, it was taken off his supporters. Because some of the supporters decide to, okay, let's try this one more again. Then you have supporters like me and say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. As George Bush said, you fool me one time, but you ain't gonna fool me again. I wasn't buying it. I'll follow the platform, and that's where I go. If you reject the platform, I reject you. If you, same thing with reparations. You reject reparations, I'm rejecting you. You reject the black agenda, I'm rejecting you. You can't get my vote. Especially when you're a bigot, pathological liar, alleged rapist. Well, let's get into the story because it's so important. Give me a moment. All right, say Indivisible, a progressive group, never keen on Biden, endorses the former VP. Now understand, again, when it comes to endorsements, you cannot, it's just like a union endorsement. There's certain leaders that do the endorsing. It's not necessarily the group. It's the leaders that do the endorsement, not necessarily the group. It's like in certain labor movements and certain unions, they have a vote on who's going to get the nomination or get the endorsement. But the leadership vote always outweighs the workers' vote, kind of like the superdelegates outweighs the regular voter votes. That's why they need to get rid of superdelegates. That's why the top leaders in the union should not be voting. It should always be the workers voting. Let them make decision and you get your butt up out of it. All right, first on NBCnews.com, the apparent Democratic nominee, as they like to say, they say apparent because I guess it appears that he's the nominee, is Abraham Lincoln compared to Donald Trump. Really? You're actually going to consider Joe Biden the man who developed policies to lock black people up in record numbers, to use them for free labor in a private prison for slavery, new slavery? This man who lies over and over again, Honest Abe was honest. This guy's a pathological liar. You really gonna tout this out your mouth that the apparent Democratic nominee is Abraham Lincoln compared to Trump? You really think we're going to fall for that BS? I don't care if this organization said that. They're lying out their teeth, and they're to me, I consider them unethical. You're talking about a man who plagiarized all his life, a man who conned and schemed, a man who buddied up and bougied up with white supremacists. Why? Because he's a white supremacist self. A man who don't know how to apologize. A man who would not apologize, not from the time of the Nita Hill up to the time of the Tyree scandal right now, or it never apologize. That's what white supremacists do. They don't think they make mistakes. You're trying to say this man who's a pathological liar, who lies over and over again. I mean, you think Abraham Lincoln would have got on that debate stage and lied like a rug when he's debating Bernie Sanders? Get out of here. Miss me with that. This man who has a record of developing policies to move black people off prestigious land, so and lock them up and take over and cause drugs to devastate the land, so the drugs can do what it do so well, put people in the area of poverty and calamity and destitution. Also, you can allow big money to drive them out of those areas, and big money buy up the land and make money. Now, yeah, no, that's not Trump. That's Biden with the drug war. You mean the person who decided to create a policy that allowed police officers to brutalize, just like there were slave owners, to brutalize and beat up and beat down young black youth, throw them in the car, take them somewhere and rough them up, put them back in the car, drop them off in front of their doorstep, plant stuff in their car so they can go to jail? The man who funded all this so he can get black men into the prison systems, the man who started the new Jim Crow, the man who started 21st century slavery. Are you freaking kidding me that he's Abraham Lincoln compared to Donald Trump? And don't get me wrong, Donald Trump ain't no hero either. He's just as bad. But don't come bringing me with this Joe Biden, all of this stuff is designed to say, all this stuff is designed to still preach to you that bull crap called the lesser of two evil. You got to vote for one of them. I ain't got to vote neither one of them. And if you don't get out of my face, I'm liable to knock you out because you are brainwashed. You have been brainwashed. But let me keep with the article. The article by Alex Seitz Wall. I say look him up on Twitter and go after him. He said indivisible and influential progressive resistance group. You know, Democrats think they're progressive anyway. I'm here to let you know true progressives don't take party sides. They don't join parties unless it's for a progressive that they believe in that's going to push progressive policies. And if that person who pushed progressive policies decide that he's going to side with corporatists, then guess what? Those progressive people shun and reject that person, just like we just did Bernie Sanders, and decide to go elsewhere. We're not joining you. You want to be a dummy and side with your enemy? Be a dummy and side with your enemy. I'm not a dummy. I'm not siding with my enemy. My enemy don't like me. My enemy will kill me at will. But he said he founded a progressive resistance group founded in the wake of President Donald Trump election. So this organization was created after Donald Trump's election. Now this ain't just as Democrat. This is indivisible. And honestly speaking, I never really followed them because if they were real progressive, I probably would know about them. The former vice president was never the favored candidate to take on Trump. What a February survey of its members showing that just 6% picked Biden among the then crowded Democratic presidential primary field, well behind Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. The group's grassroots members and local chapter leaders voted overwhelmingly to support Biden. The group's grassroots members and local chapter leaders voted overwhelmingly to support Biden. the apparent Democratic nominee, with Indivisible co-founder Ezra Levin calling him Abraham Lincoln to Donald Trump. You know, this pisses me off. Let's go see who this person is. I want to get their face up here so you can go after this person. This guy right here. You freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? I'm about to say something, people. Hold up. Look at your little white kid. How in the hell you gonna say that out your mouth? No white person should be able to make a statement like that. No black person should be able to make a statement like that. The white kid who happened to be the co-founder or whatever of this organization. Have you ever been stopped and frisked? Have you ever felt so feared by the police that oftentimes you dress up sharp so they can believe that you're actually coming from a decent job? Because if you wore a hoodie and some jeans and some Timberlands and you walking home, you're afraid that they're going to assume that you're a drug dealer. You're afraid they're going to throw you on the ground and beat you down. Have you ever done that? Have you ever have a swarm of police? You're coming out of a grocery store, and yeah, there's a bunch of people hanging on the corner. They not doing nothing. They minding their business. Maybe one of them selling a Lucy. You come out the store with your soda and your honey bun, and the cops swoop around the corner and throw all you guys on the ground, slam all of you on the wall, and press your head up against that wall just to search you. Have you ever been threatened to go to prison because you were so hungry that you stole meat? And you had no job, you had no money, but you hungry, your kids hungry, so you risk your life stealing meat. And you were told the third time that I go steal some meat, I'm going to prison for life. Have you ever stood next to somebody that you know that you didn't know had weed on them, and they throw both of y'all in the car and they try to prosecute both of you, and they actually prosecute both of you, and both of you actually get some time in prison? Have you ever did that, little white rich boy? If you don't miss me with that BS, I'm trying not to cuss because I'm a good little Christian guy. But you gotta be, boy, if I saw you right now, I'd kick you dead in your balls, man. Right in them, right in your balls. And ask God to forgive me later for you making that doggone stupid statement. Let me go back to this. This little brat. This little brat now. Let's find out a little bit about this brat. Ezra Levine is an American political activist and co-founder of the progressive nonprofit organization Indivisible. Progressive? He is co-author We Are Indivisible, a blueprint for democracy after Trump. See, real progressives been fighting this fight before Trump. Trump is not our issues. This ain't nothing but a whole bunch of mad people upset because Trump beat Hillary Clinton, and they decided to call themselves a freaking progressive group. 34 years old. Let me get to this article. It's pissing me off just thinking about it. This fool called him Abraham Lincoln compared to Donald Trump. Gonna call Joe Biden that. About 95% of Indivisible members backed endorsing Biden. 95%. And you trying to tell us this is a progressive organization? This is a progressive organization. The group, which includes dozens of independent local chapters, started the election cycle by getting its member and every major Democratic presidential candidate to sign a pledge vowing to support the eventual Democratic nominee and to work as hard as they can to defeat Trump. Now, real progressives who support that platform above anything, see, it's not about Trump. It's about that platform. That platform is king. No person is. When they never signed a pledge, vowing to support the eventual Democratic nominee and to work as hard as they can to defeat Trump. I'm going to deal with that a little later. In an interview, Levine and his co-founder, Leah Greenberg, said they are making good on that pledge. And while it may take some work for Biden to get some indivisible members excited about his candidacy, and it's going to take a while, they said they're not seeing major defections from their members who are first and foremost committed to ousting Trump. Nobody is taking their ball and going home, Greenberg said. Trying to calm down. Let me say something about this. When you got an organization that call themselves progressive after the Trump election, you got a fake, I'm trying not to cuss, you got a fake ask organization that's paying themselves to be progressive, all to try to mislead progressives. True progressives will always, they have a foundation, and the foundation ain't Trump. The foundation is crooked politicians. The foundation is rich corporate elitist politicians on both sides. We don't take sides, we take over. So no, none of you faking frauds may not be taking your ball and go home, but you're not progressive. If you're sitting here and you got a Democratic, you signed under a party, under Democrat, that takes away your credibility already. You have no skin in the game. You already showed your allegiance by, number one, if you were a Democratic before and after Trump got in office, then you showed your colors right now. Because people like me, after you railroad Bernie Sanders, ain't no way, in 2016, ain't no way I was joining your crooked elite party. But if you're a party that decide to support the Democratic Party, knowing they're crooked, knowing what they did, knowing how they put their finger on the scale like they did the finger on the scale right now, you still decide to support them, and you know that they did this coalescing as a way of, and even Obama himself said, look, I'm going to get involved with Bernie Sanders, look like he's going to run with this thing, and you going to sit up here and commit to a dumb pledge? So I don't pledge. I don't make no pledges. Heck, I don't even pledge allegiance to the United States. When the United States pledge allegiance to black people, that's when I'm going to pledge allegiance to them. I'm having a hard time pledging allegiance to my God. So what make you think America going to get 100% of my corporate? I'm going to come after America just like they come after me. I'm going to talk about, and look, I love this country. I love the people of this country. I love America. But the leaders in this country are full of crap. And these are the people that are propping up these doggone leaders. Levin and Greenberg praised Biden for the entreaties he has been making to Sanders supporters and other progressives since he became the apparent nominee. What, taking 5 to 10 years off of Medicare? Lowering the Social Security maybe 5, 10 years? He have done nothing in that platform. Not one thing in that platform. See, true progressives, not these faux progressives, these fake progressives that popped up after 2016, true progressives say, no, we want Medicare for all, not for people who hit the 50s. They're uncompromising. You want our support, you need to do at least 4 or 5 of these things. But you're not even doing one. At least 4 or 5 of these things as is, and you're not even doing one freaking policies. And you trying to say you want to support him. He's trying his best. He ain't trying his best. All you have to do is say, my first thing I'm going to do within the first 90 days is I'm going to make marijuana legal. He's not going to make marijuana legal and get them brothers and sisters out of jail. Why? Because he's anti-marijuana legislation. He's not going to make Medicare for all available because he's so deep in the pocket of big pharma and the medical industry. There's no way he would do that. Get out of here with this stuff. Let me keep going. Levin and Green praised Biden for the entreaties. He didn't make no freaking entreaties. He didn't even make a treaty. That's why you don't hold. That's why progressives, true progressives, are holding their vote until we get a treaty, until we make a deal. You ain't getting no support. And even then, especially when it comes to me, he can bring 4 or 5 things of Bernie Sanders on the table. Number one, it ain't about Bernie Sanders. That policy is not that platform is not Bernie Sanders. That's our platform. Green Party had that platform a long time ago. He can bring it all he wants. That ain't his platform. And if he thought it was his, it's not now. Bernie, you're done. You're done. You're going back to the Senate, and you're going to continue to lobby with the Democrats. You're not running for office again. You're too old. You're too old. I'm not even looking at you to run again. And if you was, I still won't support you. Because I'm not going through this. I wasn't going to go through this a second or a third time. You had your chance with me in 2016. You blew it. It's time for somebody new to step up to the plate. Time to have a real unapologetic leaders that don't side with parties. And you are not it. Because of you still pushing this fear of Trump, the most dangerous, blah, 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 crap. You siding with the Democrats, you're sleeping with the enemy. You're not even sleeping, man. You having pretty much, you getting busy. You're doing the nasty with the enemy. And these fake progressive organizations are doing the same freaking thing. Most of them want a position. This guy's young. You don't think he's not going to get some kind of positions with the organization? Get out of here. Get out of here, man. We're not going to let this happen. Now, let me get back in. You're going to hear a baby in the background because we got a new baby in the family. The baby. Asher. Yep. Little cutie pie. It said Levin and Greenspan praised Biden for the end treaties. No, he didn't have no treaties. Biden ain't did jack yet. I'm here to let you know, Levine and Greenberg, you can tout what you've done you can tout your old fake behind organization, but real true progressive who don't attach themselves to an organization. See, we have no organizations. That's the thing about organizations. They're misleading and they can lead you. And if they're leading, they can lead you down the wrong path. I'm not committed to no organization. I'm committed to organizing, but I'm not committed to your organization. You're sitting up here praising this man who didn't make no treaties. He ain't make no entreaties or treaties. Knocking 5-10 years off Medicare or knocking 5-10s off Social Security, that is not progressive. That's a slap in the face. That's a thumbs up your butt. And that's a bird in your face. The indivisible leaders say they are engaged with Biden campaign on policies they would like to see him prioritize, such as statehood for the District of Columbia, universal voting by mail, and other democracy forms. Well, we ain't for that. We want ranked choice voting, and we want paper ballots. We want more ballot initiatives. True progressives want that. We want to take some of the power away from the state. We want to take some of the power away from the city. And we want to take the powers away from the government and let the people make the decision. Now, I don't see nothing about other things that progressives are fighting for, even if he's not on the same page as us to begin with. This is what Levine's saying. Little kid. He's willing to listen. I don't care if somebody's willing to listen. The Pope willing to listen. The Father in confession, he's willing to listen. But he can't stop you from doing what you want to do. And that don't mean he's going to do something for you. He's at least willing to listen. You buying that stuff? He's willing to listen because he need those votes. As soon as he get those votes, he's going to shut you down. That's one of the oldest things in the book. He's willing to listen. Get out of here with that stuff. He has no choice but to listen because he know if he can't gain, his number one job is to try to at least get a certain percentage of that vote that don't like him, and it's working with you little punk behinds. You little cowards. He's listening. At least he's listening to us. Man, if you don't get out of here with this mess, that's a trap. He's not going to, he can listen all he wants. That don't mean he's going to do anything. He's going to play with your emotion. I hear you. I hear you. You know, honey, I hear you. I hear how much you love me. And I really appreciate that, honey. As soon as this Negro going to sleep, I'm going over to Joe's house. And I'm going to show Joe how much I love him. That's what he's going to do. He's going to be like that sneaky wife, going to listen to you, spill all your heart. And every time you spill your heart, she knows she got you and you ain't going nowhere. I love you more than anything in life. Baby, I would never get my life on. I got you. But when a woman say cry over a man like that, men get arrogant, cocky. Man, she ain't going nowhere. She love me. Let me go over to this other girl house. The endorsement comes as by an attempt to quash an allegation of sexual assault. It ain't happened, bruh. You can quash all you want. I'm going to continue to talk about it till the ringer fall off. Brought by a former Senate staffer, which he addressed for the first time in an interview with MSNBC Morning Joe Friday by categorically denying the claim. It's one of the weakest denials I've ever seen in my history. It was worse than Bill Clinton's. At least Bill Clinton tried to say, look, y'all need to get off this. I didn't do it. I got too much work to be doing. I got to go to work, man. Leave me alone. But days later, he showed proof. And then with Biden trying to deflect us to make us think if she made a complaint, it could be only one area. And if it ain't there, her complaint ain't valid. Whether it's in that area or not, it's valid. But let me get back on these people. Greenberg said that it was important for Biden to address the issue and that he needed to continue answering question about it while promoting policies that would help women who are victims of sexual assault and domestic violence. Bro, you done lost your doggone mind, little kid. Maybe you need to live life a little bit more. I know some people on the street got a hard knock life that has a better, stronger, sharper thinking than you have, brother. I guarantee you this kid is a real spoiled kid. His parents probably went to Ivy League. I don't know. He probably got spoiled parents, probably bougie, but all of a sudden he wants to be a progressive. He knows what most of us go through. For you to say he need to address women issues, and he's been addressing women issues for the past 5 to 10, maybe 20 years. He is the one who came up with the Violence Against Women Act. I told you in my last broadcast, the reason somebody champions something so hard is because they have an issue with that problem. Either it's personal, either he personally have a problem with it, or somebody had a problem with it and it affected him. Somebody was like that toward him, or he have a problem being like that with somebody else. That's why he championed that. Now, he don't need to be addressing anything when it comes to women right now. He need to shut his mouth up. And real progressives would be saying, you got a rape allegation. You got a track record of inappropriate touching kids, elderly women, and especially women in general. And now you have a person who have a credible story. It's still he say and she say, but she's consistent with her story. And every excuse that you have don't check out. The New York Times excuse don't check out. It'll only be in the Senate archives don't check out. None of that stuff check out. But her story checked out. I didn't say too much because I feared losing my job. I feared people turning on me. I feared, fear. And you saying this man need to address the issue? He need to address the issue and still need to build on that kind of campaign? No, he need to drop out, repent for his sins, and focus the rest of his life on righting that wrong, not as president, but as an activist for women since he claimed to be. Nobody, including Trump, should have rape allegations and be running for that office. Nobody. But the group is sticking with Biden, thick or thin. That's what you call a sadomasochist and an idiot. A masochist and an idiot. You want to invite more pain on women, and you want to invite more pain on black people who suffered through the years when Biden was a top Senate leader, pushing top policies, getting it through the House, getting it through the Senate, and getting it on the desk of the president. With Biden being in control, more bad stuff for black people has the opportunity to take place. Because on the low key, Republicans and Democrats, they've been knowing Joe for a long time. They don't know Trump. They're not 100% on Trump's side. The voters may be, but most of the people on Capitol Hill are not 100% on Trump's side. The only thing they fear is Trump coming after them and Trump voters not siding with them. But deep down, underlined, when it comes to principle, they're in line with Joe. That's why it's not a good thing. Because if he became president, he would have more power and more ability to get the collective on both sides, not to do something for regular working people, but do something for corporations, do something for prisons, do something for all these different kind of medical industry, military complex, all these complexes. Joe Biden have never really pushed policies that help working people. And the policies that he's proud of are the ones that hurt people of color the most. And let me get specific, because yeah, it did hurt Latinos and even some Native American, but it hurt black people more than anything. And just because he been a friend of a half black, half white man, don't mean he has changed. Now, we as an organization, yeah, you as a fake progressive organization, you don't represent me and you don't represent millions. And we're not following your lead. And we're going to shame you and call you out. You are a fake organization. You're not progressive. Progressives don't take sides, they take over. Progressives follow that platform. And if you're not pushing that platform, you're not a freaking progressive. People always say, how can you identify progressives? You got Democrats calling them progressive. No. Here's what a progressive is. A progressive follows the platform of that platform, Medicare for all, things like that. Progressives are trying to make FDR dreams come true. Progressives are true progressive, and I'm about to hit you hard, progressive. True progressives want to see true reparations. True progressives want to see black people equal up to whites when it comes to wealth. True progressives. True progressives know that was a wrong that need to be made right. True progressives. True progressives are not taking sides. True progressives say, look, we're big in numbers. And if you want our vote, sit at the table, let's make some concessions. This organization ain't making no concessions. This organization is tapping out. Quick, fast, in a hurry. You're going to give your support to Joe Biden and he ain't did nothing yet? That's my problem with the black voters in South Carolina and all over the country. You're going to let James Clyburn and other leaders like that pretty much give your support to him? He had the opportunity to get something done for black people by making concessions. And all he says, we know Joe. Joe know us. Joe ain't got to give us a doggone thing. He actually got on TV saying, we don't want nothing for free. Fool, there ain't nothing for free. My tax money paid for that. I want you to invest your tax money back into us. We as an organization made a commitment to support the nominee. Let me tell you something. Let me stop using that. Let me hit this real hard. You can write a contract. In every contract, there are things that can void the contract. For an example, Bernie Sanders had a lame excuse that I gave my word that I would support the Democratic nominee. Not if they're proven to cheat you, not if they're proven to put the finger on the scale, not if they're proven to railroad you, not if they're proven even in court to say, look, we don't care who you are. We make the decision. Screw the voters. Screw your supporters. We make the decision. No, with that kind of lame mess, no. You're not committed to the process, so why should I be committed to the process? You cheated me. That was wrong. I'm out. I'm running third party. That's no excuse. No excuse. And same thing goes now. Stop using this as an excuse. We made a commitment to support the nominee. You can uncommit yourself when they uncommit themselves. Once I find out that you got a history of bigot policies, let's say I did commit to you. And then this is how I woke up a little bit. Because somebody told me I don't sleep. That's because I'm woke. This is how I woke up. See, I was about to vote for Hillary Clinton because I was a committed Democrat. And then somebody handed me a book by Bernie Sanders, and I looked at the policies. That got me excited about the Bernie Sanders campaign because I wasn't into Bernie Sanders. I was into the policies. Man, he's willing to push these things. I'll look into a little more. Then I was taught to look at people's records. And then when I saw Hillary Clinton record and how she promoted the crime bill and how she championed it and how she called us super predator, right along with people like Joe Biden, who created the crime bill and created the measures for the states and things like that to brutalize us, and how he and her together pushed Bill Clinton to sign it. My heroism of Bill Clinton, my heroism of Hillary Clinton, and my heroism of Joe Biden went out the door. And now that is my policy for every politician. I'm going to check your record before I give you my vote. I don't look at parties. I don't look at none of that stuff. I look at you and what you've done in the past, what you're doing now, and what you're doing in the future. I have no commitment, and I'm not giving anybody my commitment with my vote. Black people shouldn't do it. Black people need to be like Malcolm X. Malcolm X said, look, we need to all detach ourselves from a party and become independents. Then we come together as a collective, vote, registering as independent. And when it comes to that general election, that's when we show our power. And that's what we as progressives need to be doing. You have no power when you give an allegiance. You have no power when you make commitments. We committed to the nominee. She said of the coming battle between Biden and Trump, fundamentally, we're heading into what will be a tough and painful election season, and we think the contrast between the two really speaks for itself. You mean the contrast where you calling Joe Biden Abraham Lincoln? Let me tell you something. There's a couple things I can say about Trump, and this ain't touting. Bigoted as Trump is, he's done some bigoted things. And he had Stephen Smith, another bigot, who tried to write some of his policies. Trump bucked against a lot of those policies. I mean, you actually got somebody say, I may be a bigot, but I ain't that much of a bigot. He's going to hit Joe Biden with this crime bill and shame him. What do Joe Biden have on Trump that Trump don't have more on him when it comes to race? And you got the nerve to talk about Abraham Lincoln? Joe Biden is Abraham Lincoln? You must lost your doggone mind. Joe Biden will never be Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was allegedly honest. Abraham Lincoln wanted to free slaves. I don't care whether it was business or pleasure or philosophy. He did what he could to free the slaves. Emancipation Proclamation. Abraham Lincoln did work with, thought about the 40 acres and a mule, and Grant tried to push that. Joe Biden is not a free person. We got people locked up today because of Joe Biden's policies. We got people who died in the past because of Joe Biden's policies. We got people who got raped, manipulated, end up in jail, end up killing themselves in jail, end up being killed in jail, end up being broke down and dying of exhaustion for working so hard while they're in jail. You had police officers plant stuff on people, and they go in and kill every one of them, saying it was a drug bust that went wrong because of Joe Biden's policy. So get out of here and miss me with this. He's Abraham Lincoln compared to Trump. Boy, fool, you done lost your doggone mind. If I ever see you, man, I'm going to do something your daddy never did. I'm going to put you on my leg, and I'm going to whoop your behind. I'm going to whoop your behind. Let me stop. No, I'm not. I'm nonviolence. I'm nonviolence. I'm nonviolent. I ain't going to whoop you. I'm not going to whoop you behind, but I'm sure going to cuss you. No, I can't cuss no more. And if I give you a piece of my mind, that means I'm losing some of my mind. And I need to keep my mind to look out for little slimy snake foxes, little tricks like you. You're not a progressive, and you're not a progressive, and you need to take your organization, you and your organization, and go where you're doing right now. You're already kissing Joe Biden's behind. Why don't you move over to the right a little bit? You're kissing the left cheek. Why don't you move over to the right a little bit and get in that crack and go up his behind. He'd probably like it. I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report. I'll holler at you later. Really? Dude, you must have lost your doggone mind.